Mayor of Austin wants to clean up how Austin Energy produces power. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. I'm Britt Moreno. Daniel is off tonight. In a bit of a surprise announcement last week, Mayor Kirk Watson called on Austin Energy to completely revisit its long-term plan, and part of that means completely removing itself from the coal-powered Fayette Power Plant. KXAN's Grace Reader breaks down what that could mean for you.
It's Austin's largest contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, according to Mayor Kirk Watson, and the mayor wants out.
We can be responsible, we can be thoughtful, we can be creative, but not if we make it all about black or white decisions.
We're talking about the Fayette Power Plant, roughly an hour from downtown Austin. The coal-fired power plant was one included in this University of Texas research, which looked at health impacts of that type of energy generation nationwide. It found roughly 500,000 deaths tied to coal power in the U.S. over the past 2 decades, though those numbers have gone down dramatically since 2020 because of restrictions or because plants shut down.
Pollution that originates specifically from a coal power plant, there's some evidence that it's particularly bad for people.
The environment and the health risks are some of the reasons Mayor Kirk Watson called on Austin Energy to refocus that long-term plan to include shutting down Austin's portion of the plant. It's a goal Austin leaders have had for more than a decade, and one the community has rallied behind for years. He's bringing the issue back to the surface.
We run our issues and our questions through the prism of how do we get out of Fayette Power Plant no later than January of 2029.
In a statement, Austin Energy said it was exploring its options. Meanwhile, the Lower Colorado River Authority, or LCRA, which co-owns the facility with the city of Austin, said the plant is, quote, important to the reliability of the ERCOT market. It continued, LCRA intends to continue operating the Fayette Power Project as long as it continues to provide reliable, cost-effective power. Doug Lewin, an energy expert, says this time around, those arguments for continuing with coal may not be as strong as they were last time this topic was breached.
It really is a remarkable moment we're living in right now where solar actually is cheaper than other forms of power, right? I mean, as recently as 4 or 5 years ago, that was not the case.
Grace Reader, KXAN News.
And now we checked back in with Austin Energy today to ask about those next steps, and they say they're still working through what comes next and promise to keep us updated as it works through its plan and the Fayette Power Plant deal. Of course, we will stay on top of this for you. Now, going in depth, here are some examples of the rest of Austin Energy's power portfolio. Austin Energy owns 3 natural gas plants in the area, the newest in the Sand Hill Energy Center in the Del Valley area. Austin Energy is also part owner of the South Texas Nuclear Project in Bay City. It also has wind and solar farm locations across the state, including customers sending solar back to the grid from their own homes. And then there is the biomass plant in Nacogdoches. The plant burns wood chips, so technically it is a renewable resource, but also dispatchable power. However, the contract was a problem. In 2012, the plant started sending power into the state's grid, but the 20-year contract and ballooning costs caused Austin Energy to buy the plant outright in 2019. That cost more than $460 million, but that deal would save $275 million in the long run.